you were with another firm, right? For a while.
4 years.
4 years, long time. How did you come to a thought process of joining up with eXp and eventually with Prosperity Builders?
Great question. I was happy at my other firm, and they were a great firm. But because I am so busy, I look back at how much money I had paid to that company over the past year, and I was like, wow, how could I continue to do the same amount of business that I'm doing, but keep more of my income?
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Prosperity Builders Broadcasts. And tonight we have a new episode. And Karen, who do we have with us tonight?
We are so honored to have Yvonne Rush here with us today and to talk a little bit about her business and what direction she's going in.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit of Yvonne. I know some people know about you, but some people don't. How did you get into real estate?
Wow. In 2004, I started working for a builder and did on-site sales and worked for builders on site until 2016.
Okay, wow, that was a long time, but yeah.
So that was a great experience to learn the construction side and marketing and sales. And then in 2016, I went into general brokerage and have been loving it ever since.
Yeah, so everybody that gets in the real estate business was doing something before they were in real estate. What were you doing before you did that?
Before that, I was a high school Spanish teacher.
See, isn't that cool? That is so cool. And how long were you doing that?
Just for 2 years.
Okay. Really, really cool. All right. Yeah. And then, then you got into the building. And then let's hear a little bit about your family, too.
Okay. I just celebrated my 18th wedding anniversary on Sunday.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
So I'm married to my husband, Anthony, and we have 3 daughters and a son.
So 4 children.
Yeah. I have twins that are 10 years old, and a daughter who is 12, and then our oldest daughter is grown.
Good.
Wow. So you've got a lot of motivation to sell some homes, don't you?
That's right.
You know what I think is when I talk to you about coming to this podcast, and I think what is unique about you is, and also to share and let other people know, you have a full-time job, which is selling real estate, and you are very successful in that. But you also homeschool your children. And I know there were a lot of people during COVID that were homeschooling their children, and they were like, there is no way I can do this. That's got to be really hard and take a lot of planning and organizing. How do you do that?
Great question. So my kids do go to a hybrid school. So they go to school a couple days a week, and then they're homeschooled the other days.
Okay.
And ironically, it was real estate that kind of pushed us towards that. Because when my oldest daughter started kindergarten, when that was my first year in general brokerage, I would pick her up from school and she would ask me if I had to work. And if I said yes, she would start crying. And she'd say, I've been at school all day and now you're going off to work. So, when I was first new, of course, that's more weekends and evenings.
Right.
So when I had heard about that school, it seemed to be a good fit because that way if I worked at night or on the weekends some days, if they could be home with me, other days it kind of even things out.
Right.
So that's how that got started. And we've just made it work ever since. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm working at midnight, working at 5 a.m., working in a carpool line, working while my kids are doing their schoolwork. I'm at the table with them doing my work. Sometimes, what I can do at home.
Yeah.
So we just make it work.
And that's hard because as a realtor, you're on call all the time. Someone wants to go see a house, or someone wants to go and list their home. That's planning that schedule around them because they're very active too. They're into sports and things of that sort. And
Right now we're in 5 sports.
5 sports.
5 sports.
Between 3 kids.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
But it works.
And you
we
smile.
just make it work.
And you sell a lot of homes, and This last year, you were.
I didn't know because you had asked me, so I checked right before I came. It was 5.9 million.
That is awesome.
So just
That's
under
really,
6.
congratulations. That's fantastic.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And that's how many homes did you sell?
I should know that
A lot.
question, right? I think it was 26. I don't know. Somewhere
That
between,
sounds good.
Is that right?
Yeah, it sounds good. About right.
Somewhere
Yeah.
between 26 and 30-ish. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So listen, as a realtor, it's all about balance of life.
Yes.
And you are demonstrating how someone can actually pull that off. I mean, I know that you really spend a lot of time with your family. It's very important to you. But you also really care about your clients. And so you have that delicate balance, but you seem to be able to make it work. I mean, you are a great role model for today's realtor.
Thank you.
It's quite an accomplishment because there's a lot of people that would find that overwhelming. Yes?
Yes, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, but
Yeah.
that's why I said that for spring break I have to clean my house. Because the dirtier the house is, the busier I am at work.
Yeah.
So the kids are out cleaning closets and everything else on their spring break. I bet they can't wait for school to start now. But I do think you hit it. You are a role model for a lot of other real estate agents and moms that are wanting to pursue their career, but then also feel like they have to do all the things, the demands of a family life. And I think that's important. So if someone wants to call you to kind of get tips, would that be something they could do?
Absolutely, sure.
And what would you say your number one thing is that keeps you going and keeps your family going? I mean, how do you do both?
Okay. Well, a couple things. For my business-wise, so when I was growing up, I always said I wanted to do a career that helped people. And so in college, I was going towards like social work and that kind of thing. And my mom's actually a realtor and has been for over 30 years. And she said, well, realtors help people. And I'm like, how do realtors help people? And she said, well, we do. We help people in a lot of different, tough situations. Sometimes they're selling because maybe there was a death in the family or a divorce or a hardship or, they're trying to, there's all kinds of things that we come up against. And she's like, we definitely help people. And so now as a realtor, I see that because my number one goal for my clients is to protect them and to solve their problems. And usually it's problems they don't even know they have,
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like I enjoy helping people, and so that's what keeps me going in real estate. And then as far as, with my family, sometimes I think about, in all honesty, where else could I work and have the flexibility of the schedule that I have and be able to do a lot of things from home and still, be able to contribute to my family and make it worthwhile, worth my time.
Right.
Yeah. I always tell people that the beauty of real estate is it's a vocation. It's really not a job, it's a vocation. But we get paid.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's not a bad deal, right?
Yeah.
You have both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you share with us how you came around? You were with another firm, right? For a while.
4 years.
4 years, long time. How did you come to a thought process of joining up with eXp and eventually with Prosperity Builders?
Great question. I was happy at my other firm, and they were a great firm. But because I am so busy, I look back at how much money I had paid to that company over the past year, and I was like, wow, how can I continue to do the same amount of business that I'm doing, but keep more of my income? I didn't necessarily want to do more business, but I would have liked to.
Especially as the
more
kids
money.
keep getting
Right,
older.
right.
You have college at the end of that.
That's right.
All that
That's right.
Yeah.
So honestly, I've known Scott for many years. Actually, when I was in new construction, he and I did business together. He brought buyers sometimes, and we had met each other and worked together. And I saw that he was at eXp and enjoying it. And so I reached out to him to just ask him some questions and learn more about the company. And the more I learned, the more appealing that it was for me. And I pretty much worked from home anyway, so it was like a no-brainer.
Right.
And then it happened to be right before COVID when I made that switch, so it was perfect timing.
Because we were, being a virtual company, we're all ready for that.
Yeah. Already set up for it. There's as much, you can get as involved as you want to and get as much training as you want to, or be as independent as you want to. It's all
right.
there.
Well, that's one of our core values, right? Independent but not alone.
Right.
And that we love that about our group, because everyone can do their thing, but we're there for them when they need somebody.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So at this point, you've been with us a couple years, and what would you say is the most surprising thing about your experience with the Prosperity Builders and eXp that you obviously didn't know about when you came on board? Tough question?
The most surprising thing.
Or the most surprising in a positive way, like hey, I didn't realize that I was going to be able to do this, or
Right.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
There's probably several things, but one, the training that you guys provide is really top notch. There is a lot of support there if you need it, and I do definitely appreciate that. There's definitely a great, even though everybody, like you said, is independent, there's a great feeling of teamwork. Nobody's trying to keep secrets, and everybody's willing to share what's working for them and help each other out and show houses for each other if you get in a pinch, which is nice.
Yeah, you've helped out a few times.
So that's all, that's great. But the other thing is I think what surprised me the most probably is how much eXp has grown since I've joined. I mean, the numbers are just tremendous of how much, and now everybody knows who eXp is, whereas a couple years ago they didn't, and now it's like almost a household name, because when I switched, most of my clients are referral based, so sometimes they don't even know what company I work for. So I was like, it doesn't really matter what the name is, but now people are recognizing the name, and actually I have people asking me questions all the time about eXp and coming to me about it, so that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's neat.
So what advice would you have for your audience out there, for if they were thinking about making a step into real estate as a working mother with children, or a spouse, a husband, could be that, right?
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
So let's not lose sight of that. But what would your advice be in terms of thinking it through and coming to that kind of a conclusion?
Just to be flexible, I think. I know some people have set hours. These are my business hours, and if that works for people, then that's fine. But for me, I kind of just go with the flow. What's necessary right now is what what I take care of. And but if you need to block out your personal things first. So if you know, hey, we've got a game tonight that I'm not going to miss, well, then you just write that in as an appointment on your schedule, and you're busy during that time, I also think it's good to have a good support team, people that are there to help you, and if you have questions, to be there for you. And if you can't be somewhere, have somebody that can help you out, and definitely don't try to do it alone.
Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. Well, Yvonne, if Scott was here, he'd say the same thing. The three of us started this because we wanted to be associated with quality people like you. And you have been a great example to a lot of our agents in our group. And we appreciate the way that you give back to us and to our group. And what a shining example you are for anybody who wants to endeavor in the real estate business. So we're grateful for you joining us and helping us get better at what we do. And I can tell you, if you need help with buying or selling a house, get a hold of Yvonne. She's one of the most patient, thoughtful people in the business, and she could do a great job for you. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best, and we hope that everybody can join us the next time for our next episode of Prosperity Builders Broadcast. Thanks. Good night.
Good night.